Hello, YouTube. Welcome back to WWIY, Women, What Inspires You? Megan Price here, and today I'm so blessed to have Karey on my channel. Hi, Karey.
I
So thrilled that you're here. Karey is an avid mountain biker I actually connected with through Instagram because she owns her own business doing mountain bike coaching. How badass is that? So Karey, I want to just start right off the bat and hear all about you. So tell us where you're from and a little bit about what fulfills you in life.
okay. Well, I was born and raised in Edmonton, and I moved to Vancouver my second year of university, and I was in love with mountains, so I had to be out there. And even though I lost a year in my university transferring to BC from Alberta, I went for it. And from there, after graduation, I flew off to wonderful land of Japan, and
Wow.
I lived in Japan for 23 years.
For 23 years, holy smokes.
Yeah, so it's pretty much half my life I spent over in Japan. So it's my second home for sure.
Wow.
Um, I just I don't know what fulfills me in life. I guess like when I first went over to my journey over to Japan, I was in Vancouver and I was full of materialistic thoughts and things and all that kind of stuff. And through my travels, I learned that that's not really what it is in life. And for me now, it's family, friends, relationships, and riding my bike. Um, and I've just learned that those things are super important. And if you don't have your health with all of that, including mental, physical, you don't have anything. And you could have the biggest house in the whole world, and if you're going to have a heart attack tomorrow, it doesn't mean a thing.
Absolutely. It's so true. And I think, especially through this pandemic, we've learned that your mental health and your physical health are equally important parts of life, and having that connection, because we've been so isolated just trying to get through COVID and not being able to see people. It puts things into perspective. So that's really cool you've lived your life. I have to ask, do you know how to speak Japanese then?
Hi.
Oh,
I do speak Japanese, but I'm losing it daily because I haven't spoken in a long time. So
oh my
I'm
gosh.
practicing.
Yes, definitely. I took it in high school. I remember I can say konnichiwa, oname wa nan desu ka? And
私の名前はケリーです。はじめ
I'm Megan des. That's all I remember. Yours is so
Good.
fluent still.
Pretty
That's
good.
very cool. So what did you do while you were in Japan?
Well, I originally went over there to, make some money and pay off my student loans. And just before I left, I had ACL reconstructive surgery.
Oh, shoot.
So that's kind of how I got into mountain biking, was over there
Oh,
for rehabilitation purposes. And I taught English, and my plan was to stay 1 to 3 years. Um, and bada boom, bada bing, that changed 23 years later.
that's an incredible journey. And how cool is that you learned to bike over there?
I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
uh,
And it's weird because I'm from Canada, right?
yeah. So I'm not super familiar with the Japanese kind of mountain structures. Is there a lot of riding out there?
Yeah, there is. But it's very different over there because if you're not a local, you're not going to know where the trails are. They have very restricted access to trails over there because there's so many hikers and a huge population.
Mhm.
But the scene is huge. I was on the domestic circuit. I traveled all over Japan with the mountain bike scene, racing there.
Oh,
Uh, yeah,
cool.
so I raced for 23 years there as well.
Downhill or enduro?
I did everything. Um, my heart was cross country, but I wasn't very good. So I podiumed way better in downhill. So I ended up focusing on downhill and raced the whole circuit. And I had a very good career. I had 3 titles over there.
Good for you. That is absolutely incredible and inspiring. I love the race scene. It's such a cool community. I think as a whole, females in mountain biking have created a very positive, learning conducive environment. So that is really cool that you had that experience. Oh, the things you learn on this show. I love it. so cool. All right, well, let's dive right into the next question. So, in throughout all your travels and everything, who would you say was your biggest inspiration and why?
Well, I find that a really difficult question because throughout my life, I've met so many people that have inspired me, and there's so many coaches, riders that have given me inspiration. But what I found is actually a local inspiration, which are we call them UROC, United Riders of the Crowsnest Pass, our cycling association. And a lot of them, when I first came here, they're all retired, over 65, some in their 70s, and they're still kicking ass, excuse the expression. But they continue to trail build, they continue to fundraise, organize, work with the local businesses, stakeholders, all that stuff, and still find the time to ride their bikes and have so much fun. And I ride with them every once in a while. And, you know, when I have my aches and pains, I think, my God, these guys are inspirational. They're still kicking my butt. And so for me, that just, you know, they spread the passion of mountain biking, and that's what I love.
Oh, that is so cool and good for them, their age category. I mean, still doing all these things. And I've seen on your Instagram some of the trail building, I think, that they've done. And it's just amazing to keep that community alive out there. You have so many beautiful mountains.
I do. And actually, just the other day, I met a couple of these members that I'm talking about, and they're telling me that there's going to be some new trails on Past Powder Keg. So I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh, that is thrilling. Might have to do a road trip out there just to ride.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
fantastic. Oh, well, I love it. It's always a hard decision to choose just one person when you've had such an incredible journey throughout your life with lots and lots of different life experience. So I love the answer. More than one. Next, we'll hop right into what is a hardship that you faced in your life and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, that's another great question. I've I've had many hardships in my life. I think everybody has, and for me, that is why I bike, because when I get on my bike, it just makes the stress go away. And I'd have to say it saves me every time. But I guess the biggest challenge that I've had recently, which most of you who know me or have seen me on my Instagram, is that I just had a knee replacement. So in my early 20s, I was a soccer player and I blew out my ACL completely and had to have reconstructive surgery. So at that time, my surgeon told me, well, if you want to walk when you're 60, no more soccer for you. You're done. That was really hard for me. And he said, take up cycling or swimming.
Wow.
And I was like, well, I was high school swim team captain and I swam for years and I was pretty bored of it. And luckily enough, one of my roommates worked for Rocky Mountain Cycle at the time.
Oh.
And he got me on a mountain bike. And that was it. I fell in love and I kept mountain biking and mountain biking. But 23 years later, my knee was done.
Wow.
And actually, you know, along the way, I was really lucky to have prolonged it for that long. And cycling really saved it, because the surgeon, when I came back to Canada, he said to me, my God, girl, I don't know how you're doing what you're doing with the condition of your knee.
Wow.
So, because of my passion for riding, I wasn't going to give up. And I was told motion is your lotion. And so I endured about 3 years of excruciating pain and hardships, but I got through it and I had a knee replacement, which was, I'm not going to say easy,
Yeah.
but here I am 3 months in after my knee replacement, and I already started riding my bike a month and a half ago, and I never dreamed it would be that early.
Oh.
So yeah, that's to me, wow. So I'm very, very thankful to my surgeon and everything else. And I know that I'm going to have another one with my left knee.
Oh, shoot.
In the future. But yeah, I would just have to say that never give up and get on your bike and just keep riding.
Yeah. Oh, that's incredible. And I did watch too that you did tons of workouts after your replacement and just yoga and everything to try and, you know, maintain this and try and make it as short as possible recovery. But also I think it'll benefit you now. You've done it once. Unfortunately, you're going to have to do it again, but at least you know what works for you.
Yeah, like that was the hardest thing, is not knowing. And I remember freaking out before my surgery because I thought, oh my God, I've never gone this long without riding my bike. What happens if it goes wrong? So many questions.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's super hard. And going through it with the rehab and the pain and just pushing yourself to know that you have to do your exercises. So anybody in the future is going to get one, make sure you do your rehab. And if you need to take meds for it, just do it. Don't beat yourself up. That was my big thing, was beating myself up because of the medical like drugs I had to take, but it's necessary.
Yes, absolutely. And from somebody that works in the medical field, I can tell you, like, they're designed for a reason and they're going to help you. So take them in moderation. There's nothing wrong with it. Absolutely nothing. So I'm glad that you were able to recover, and it's incredible to see you back on your bike already. Everyone's rooting for you, like, yay, she's back riding. So awesome.
Thank you.
Oh, it's so true though. I love what you said about how anytime that you're kind of in a bad space or even in a good space, it's like bad space, ride your bike, good space, ride your bike, everything, ride your bike. Just makes everything better. And I mean, I'm fairly new to the sport myself, but I feel the same. It's such an incredible release where you get to go out there and you can either think through your problems or you can just hammer it out and think about nothing except just enjoying being out in the nature. So, oh, that's so cool. It's awesome. I hope that we'll connect with many other riders from this little video podcast, I guess you could call it, episode. All right, Karey. So we only have two more questions left. The next one is, what are some of the things that you do kind of on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis that keep you inspired?
Yeah, inspiration is really important. For me, I think I try to keep in touch with the constant changes of the mountain bike world. The sport is always evolving, and one of the ways I do that is I follow a lot of junior riders or up and coming riders, their Instagram, their training routines, nutrition, all this kind of stuff. And I incorporate that into my coaching company, Sweet Riders, because I always want to stay on top of what our mountain biking component is doing, so to say. And I also, I don't know, I try to keep positive, and I search for positive things every day to read, to put on Instagram, that kind of thing, because in our world today, it's very hard to stay positive with all the things that are going on. So anything that helps to keep you in that mindset, positive, to keep going, even if it's just little things in a day, it's so important to pat yourself on the back and get something accomplished, even if it's like the tiniest little thing.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I think it is very important that we don't stay sedentary and just continue, watching the news or Facebook or whatever. Is just full of so much negativity. And we've been so segregated with, the vaccine and not the vaccine and COVID and all these controversies that are just making it even more important, I think, to stay really connected. And like you said, just do even a little thing every day. Just makes you feel so much better about yourself and keeps you hopeful, I think. So those are some great tidbits, and I'm going to even use some of them. I think reading is always so important, something that I really struggle with doing every day, but you feel so much better if you just read a book or, self-help or whatever it might be. It's a little passage of positivity. So yeah, great tidbits. Thanks, Karey. Our final question, this has gone so fast. What is some advice that you could give to others to help them through a potentially challenging time?
Well, I'm just going to say there's always going to be tough times, no matter what. And my favorite thing to tell myself is that no matter what I'm going through or how tough it is, one, it's going to pass. And two, there's always other people in the world or others that are having it tougher than you. So you think you got it bad, put it into perspective, somebody's got it way worse than you. And remind yourself how grateful you are, even though it is a tough time. And I always try to remember the good times and remind myself, as I said before, that the bad times will pass. And it's kind of like riding your bike, and let's say you have a bad day and you sit there and
Uh,
get down on yourself and, oh no, you just tell yourself, you let it go and remember the good days and tell yourself that tomorrow could be another amazing good day. So keep positive and never give up.
Yes. Oh, I love it. And it's so true. Sometimes it's so hard not to get down on yourself for having a bad ride day or a bad day in general. You know, you messed something up at work or you made a mistake or you feel like you let somebody down. It's like there are always good times. And I feel no matter what you're doing, especially for riding your bike, like even if you have a bad day, you're still learning something, you're still creating muscle memory. It's still a good day.
Yeah.
So, such great words, and never giving up. That is such an important one too. It's so easy to just give up and let things go to the wayside. Like in terms of, you know, fitness is a huge one, or if you fall off the wagon with your nutrition for a little while, it's like, as long as you get back up, that is what's most important. So those are excellent, excellent tidbits. So, so true. And I hope that some people will be able to take a lot away from this. So yeah, Karey, thanks so much for joining on the podcast today, the video cast, whatever we're going to call it. I loved the tidbits. I've learned so much about you in such a short time.
I really appreciate the interview, and I appreciate what you're putting out there too. Like, I just love seeing the positivity of so many riders and doing what they do.
Yes, absolutely. Awesome. Well, thanks, Karey. Stay safe, and I hope you stay warm.
Okay, thank you. Have a great day.
You too.